That's what they immediately do. They want to take away your guns. I just want to take away weapons of war that are illegal on the streets of California and should be illegal across the United States. I mean, just literally use common sense.
But let's all listen to this absolute moron talk about this shooting. Before we get started on today's video, big thanks to our sponsor, Black Forest Supplements. But I've been on testosterone for a few months. It is a natural way to optimize your testosterone. So when you're in the gym, you're actually getting stuff done. This is a recent picture of me at the gym. Lost a lot of the fat I put on and put on a whole bunch of muscle. Now, NMN helps with stress levels, reduces drowsiness, it can restore blood vessel health, and it can also suppress age-related weight gain. So these two supplements I take regularly, and I recommend you try them out. There's gonna be a link below the video. Go grab you some. Hi there. If you're new and you're not subscribed, I recommend it. You gotta stay up to date with all this Second Amendment crap going on. So the other day there was a shooting in Monterey Park, and the shooter used a MAC-10. Look at this article. Gun used in Monterey Park massacre, an assault weapon under state law known to jam. Oh good, so now news companies are gun experts. This is the LA Times. I imagine none of you there have probably shot a gun more than 2 or 3 times in your life. Probably 90% of you have never, because you're scared of them. If you take care of your gun and you know the current state of it, and you maybe replace a part that's causing it to jam, there is no such thing as a gun that is likely to jam. Ammo can be likely to jam if they're battery loads, but guns are rarely the problem as far as jams go. So outstanding job proving that you have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
You just got jammed.
But it's not just them. You know, I like to think that people who run for office have a decent amount of intelligence. But the truth is, most of the people in office in our country are dumb. Maybe they have some book knowledge, but guess what? College is overrated. If you don't know how to have common sense in this world, you're not gonna get anywhere. So the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, who's probably gonna run for president in 2024, because we all know Biden is not gonna run again. He's probably gonna go find a beach somewhere in Ukraine and just sip on margaritas while they count the $45 billion they gave to Zelensky the other day. That's how much Twitter was sold for. $45 billion. And we have veterans here who are not being taken care of. But yeah, here's $45 billion because my son and I did some weird business in Ukraine, so we got to get him to shut up. We all know what's going on. We all know. But let's all listen to this absolute moron talk about this shooting.
I mean, the Second Amendment's becoming a suicide pact, it feels like.
Yeah, okay, wow. So you're a governor of a state. People had faith in your intelligence to run a state well. Now, I'm not really sure how you run a state like California with all the woke people and all the weird stuff going on there. But you just said that the Second Amendment is starting to look like a suicide pact. Okay, so let's take this from an intelligence standpoint. If we take that at face value, what that means is that most of the people in this country participate in what we call the Second Amendment, which means the right to bear arms. And you just pulled pretty much a wild goat out of your ass, wrapped it up, and put it in this present to everyone in the country as the Second Amendment's a suicide pact.
What?
This is a suicide pact.
What?
These kids are coming out here and they're killing themselves all over the woods.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
So what are you saying? Are you saying that everyone who owns a gun one day is going to be like, you know what? I don't really like life anymore. I got fired yesterday. Life sucks. The country's going to crap. We're all just going to go out.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, these kids started killing themselves all over my property.
You actually said this on live TV in an interview. And you're a governor of a state. Moron. But continue, please. We're all interested.
I mean, it's just, and that's the only question the community wants. How are you gonna, what about our kids when they're going to school? What more can we do?
Good point. Maybe you have a little bit of intelligence. What more can you do? You've essentially stripped the Second Amendment down in California to its bone. There is nothing more you can do to ban anything except for to completely ban the Second Amendment in California. So let me ask you, hopefully you can figure this one out. Hopefully it's not too much of a burden on your brain. If something isn't working, what do you usually do? Change it? You've tried the route of trying to disarm your whole state. Clearly it hasn't worked. You just said that. So why don't you try the opposite? Encourage people to be armed. Encourage people to watch their surroundings and say, okay, I'm dropping my kid off at school. I got my 6 covered. I'm watching over here. That guy looks weird. I'm going to keep an eye on him. But people are so worried about gun laws and all this stuff that just goes out the window. People are more worried about, am I going to get arrested for carrying this gun? I carry a gun pretty much everywhere I go, but one of the most important places I think to carry a gun is in a gym. Because it's hard to work out when you carry a gun. So my thinking is, most people in a gym don't have one on them. So if someone was nuts and decided to come in and shoot at the place, no one's really going to be able to stop them. That's why I do that. But your strategy is to try to just completely get rid of them.
And, you know, again, we look at that all the time. I mean, we did another half dozen gun safety bills last year. We'll continue to find whatever loopholes we can. We'll continue to lead the national conversation on gun safety reform.
I hope everyone understood what he just said. He's trying to find loopholes in your rights. Not, we're going to go by this lawfully. We're going to try to submit some laws, try to ban some stuff lawfully. No, he's trying to be a weasel about it and find loopholes. That's your governor. That's someone who could possibly run for the presidency in 2024. You're a weasel. But it gets better.
It's always a weapon of mass destruction, isn't it?
Okay. All right. So you're saying that a single gun is a weapon of mass destruction. Where'd you get that from? Did you watch a video of some guys in Texas killing a sounder of hogs? Oh, I saw these guys shoot 40 hogs in 10 seconds with their AR, so it's a weapon of mass destruction. It's a gun. It's not a tank, which I wouldn't even consider to be a weapon of mass destruction either. It's definitely not an F-15. It's definitely not a nuke.
And maybe that should be the fundamental focus. Large capacity clips. Just insane.
Oh, man. Sarge, come here. Up. Come on. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Hey. Have you ever heard of something called a large capacity clip? No? Okay. You know, I was at the store the other day and I've got a real problem when I open a chip bag. I just kind of crumple the top and put it back in the pantry. And so the next time I go to eat them, they're stale. So I saw this package with a whole bunch of clips in it and I bought it. Is that what you mean by large capacity clips? You can have 30 different bags of chips open because you've got a clip for each one of them? Look, you can dress like Gordon Gekko. You can even have the same hair as him. But if you say the stuff that you say, you're still a dumbass.
There's no justification, period, full stop. It's insane. These people are perpetuating lunacy and should be ashamed of themselves.
Oh, we're so ashamed that we bought some large capacity clips. You know, we should just let all of our chip bags stay stale. You're right. I'm super ashamed, dumbass.
But there's many people in this country that support the Second
I
Amendment
support,
and are lawful gun owners.
Yeah, I have great respect. I have no ideological opposition to someone reasonably and responsibly owning firearms.
If you have respect for the Second Amendment, 1, you would never call it a suicide pact. 2, you wouldn't be focusing as much time on disarming law-abiding Americans. You'd be focusing on the crime and how to stop people from doing mass shootings, but you don't. So you don't respect anything. Governor Newsom, let me end with this. The Second Amendment, which you call a suicide pact, does not state what kind of weapon is illegal for an American to defend themselves with, or to simply own. So your whole, oh, these are weapons of war? You're simply telling America that you don't care enough about your job to do research on any of this stuff. And you think that you're more intelligent than most people, so you can just talk out of your ass. Well, guess what? Nobody's falling for it. And if you are, you're just as much of a dumbass.